Hey, hey, English learners! Welcome back to Mr. Daily English Podcast, your warm and friendly place to learn real, natural English through everyday conversations. I'm Amelia.
And I'm Michael. So wonderful to be here with you again today, friends. Amelia, how are you feeling today?
I am feeling absolutely wonderful, Michael, and I think today's topic is one of those topics that seems really simple on the surface, but is actually surprisingly deep and nuanced once you start exploring it properly.
That is so true, because today we are tackling one of the most common sources of confusion for English learners at every level, the difference between so far and until now.
And I know what some of you are thinking right now. Amelia, Michael, these two expressions mean the same thing. They're interchangeable. I can use them whenever I want.
And that is exactly the kind of thinking that leads to mistakes that native English speakers notice immediately, even if they cannot always explain exactly why something sounds wrong.
Because here's the truth. So far and until now are similar, but they are not identical. And the difference between them, when you truly understand it, is actually quite fascinating.
Today, we are going to break down everything: the rules, the feelings, the contexts, the common mistakes, and most importantly, we are going to show you exactly how native speakers actually use these expressions in real everyday conversation.
By the end of this episode, you will never confuse so far and until now again, and your English will sound noticeably more natural and accurate. So get your notebook ready. Let's go.
Amelia, before we look at the differences, let us make sure everyone understands what these two expressions actually mean at their core.
Perfect starting point. Both so far and until now are used to talk about a period of time that started in the past and continues up to the present moment. They both answer the question, what has happened between then and now?
So they're both connected to the present perfect tense, which is the tense we use for actions and situations that started in the past but have a connection to the present.
Exactly. For example, I have learned a lot of English so far, or until now, I have never visited Japan. Both of these sentences describe a situation that covers a period from some point in the past up to right now.
So at this basic level, yes, they're similar. They both mean up to this point in time. They both connect the past to the present, and in many sentences, you can use either one without changing the meaning dramatically.
But here's where it gets interesting, because even though they overlap, they carry very different feelings and implications, and native speakers use them in very different ways depending on what they want to communicate.
And those differences, those subtle but important differences, are exactly what we are going to explore today.
Okay, Michael, let us get into the heart of it. What is the real core difference between so far and until now?
Great. Let me explain it as simply and clearly as possible, and then we'll look at lots of examples to make it completely clear. So far is about progress. It looks at what has happened up to this point with the strong implication that there is more to come, more to do, more to experience. The journey is continuing.
Think of so far like standing in the middle of a road. You look back and see how far you have already walked, and you know the road continues ahead of you. The journey is not finished.
Exactly. So when you say, I have finished 3 chapters so far, you are implying, and there are more chapters still to come. I'm in the middle of something ongoing.
Until now, on the other hand, carries a stronger sense of change. It looks back at what was true before and very often implies that something is about to change or has just changed. It marks a turning point.
Think of until now like arriving at a crossroads. You look back at the road you've traveled, and you know something is different now. A new direction is beginning. Something is shifting.
So when you say, until now I have always avoided public speaking, you're very strongly implying, but that is about to change. Now things will be different.
That's the key insight. So far looks forward with continuation. Until now looks forward with change.
Let us compare these two sentences directly.
Sentence 1. I have worked at this company for 5 years so far. Sentence 2. Until now, I have worked at this company for 5 years.
The first sentence with so far sounds completely natural. It simply describes how long you have been at the company and implies you're still there and the story continues.
The second sentence with until now sounds like something is about to change, like you were about to announce, but I have just resigned, or but today I'm starting something new.
Until now creates an expectation of change, of a turning point, of something new coming, and if that change or announcement doesn't come, the sentence feels incomplete and slightly strange.
That's the key insight. Write that down, everyone. So far implies continuation. Until now implies change. Now, let's look at the most common mistakes with so far, because even though so far seems simple, there are some really common errors.
Common mistake number 1, using so far with a completed action or finished time period.
X. I went to 3 countries so far last year. Check. I have been to 3 countries so far this year.
The problem with the first sentence is 2 things. First, it uses simple past tense instead of present perfect, and second, last year is a finished time period. So far only works with time periods that include the present moment.
So this year, this month, this week, today, in my life, in this job, these all work with so far because they include right now.
But last year, yesterday, in 2019, last summer, these do not work with so far because they are completely finished.
Common mistake number 2, using so far at the end of a negative sentence incorrectly. X. I didn't understand anything so far. Check. I haven't understood anything so far.
Again, so far requires present perfect tense, not simple past. This is one of the most common errors native speakers notice immediately.
Common mistake number 3, using so far in formal writing where it sounds too casual.
For example, in a formal business report, you would write, revenue has increased by 12% to date, rather than revenue has increased by 12% so far.
But in spoken English and in most written English, so far is perfectly natural and professional. Only in the most formal documents would you consider the alternatives.
Now let's look at the common mistakes with until now, because this expression is actually used incorrectly even more often than so far.
Common mistake number 1, using until now without an implied change or contrast. When there is no change or turning point, so far is almost always more natural. X. Until now, I have read about 50 books this year. Check. I have read about 50 books so far this year.
The first sentence with until now creates an expectation of change that never comes. Why are you mentioning that your reading is about to change? It creates confusion. So far is the natural choice here.
Common mistake number 2, confusing until now with up to now or by now. These are all slightly different. Until now means up to this present moment, often with implied change. By now means that you expect something to have happened already. And up to now is similar to until now, but slightly more neutral.
For example, until now, I have never spoken to my boss about this, but now I am going to. By now, she should have received the email. It was sent a while ago, and I expect it has arrived. Up to now, everything has been going smoothly.
These are subtle differences, but understanding them will make your English sound incredibly sophisticated. Common mistake number 3, using until now in questions. Until now sounds quite unnatural in most questions. So far sounds much more natural.
X. What have you learned until now? Check. What have you learned so far? X. How many countries have you visited until now? Check. How many countries have you visited so far?
In questions asking about progress or accumulation, so far is almost always the better choice. Until now is much more common in statements, particularly statements that involve a contrast or turning point.
Now, let us hear all of this in action. A full, real, natural conversation. Amelia and Michael are catching up and talking about their year so far. Listen carefully to every time we use so far or until now, and notice how naturally they fit.
Amelia, we are nearly halfway through the year already. How has it been for you so far?
Honestly, Michael, it has been one of the most eventful years of my life so far. So many things have changed, so many new experiences.
Really? Tell me more. What has been the biggest change for you?
Well, until now, I have always been quite a homebody. I preferred staying in and keeping to myself. But something shifted for me at the beginning of this year. I decided I was going to say yes to more experiences.
Oh, I love that. And has it worked? Have you said yes to more things so far?
I have. I have already attended 4 networking events this year so far, which is more than I had attended in the previous 3 years combined. I've joined a book club. I have started weekly hiking with a group of new friends.
That is incredible progress. How has it felt?
Honestly, until now, I had no idea how much I was missing by staying inside my comfort zone. And now that I've stepped outside it, I genuinely cannot imagine going back.
That is such a beautiful transformation. What has been your favorite experience so far this year?
The hiking group, without question. I have already made 3 genuinely close friends through it so far. People I never would have met if I had stayed home like I always used to.
That is wonderful. And what about your English learning journey? How has that been going so far?
Really well, actually. I have listened to over 60 podcast episodes so far this year. I've been keeping a vocabulary journal, and I've already filled 2 notebooks so far. I feel like my confidence has grown so much.
I am so impressed. And until now, had you ever kept a vocabulary journal before?
Never. Until now, I had always tried to just absorb vocabulary passively, but keeping the journal has been genuinely transformative. I retain so much more when I write things down.
That is such valuable advice for everyone listening. What a year you're having so far, Amelia.
It really has been special, and honestly, the best is yet to come. So far, this is just the beginning.
Let us highlight the so far and until now usages from that conversation.
So far was used to describe ongoing progress. How has the year been so far? How many events have you attended so far? How has your English journey been going so far?
So far was used to mark turning points and changes. Until now, I have always been a homebody, but that changed. Until now, I had no idea what I was missing. Until now, I had never kept a vocabulary journal, but now I do.
Notice how every time "until now" appeared, there was a clear contrast, a before and after, a turning point, something that used to be true that is now different. That's the pattern, every single time.
Now, let us hear so far and until now in a professional context. 2 colleagues discussing a project in a work meeting.
Michael, can you give us a quick update on the new client project? How is it going so far?
Overall, it's going well so far. We've completed the initial research phase, and we've had 3 productive client meetings so far. The feedback has been very positive.
Excellent. And the budget, how are we tracking so far?
We've spent approximately 40% of the allocated budget so far, which puts us slightly ahead of the projected spend at this stage. However, I want to flag something important.
Of course. Please go ahead.
Until now, the client has been fully aligned with our proposed approach. However, in yesterday's meeting, they raised some new concerns about the timeline that we had not previously encountered.
That is significant. So until now, everything has been smooth, but there may be a shift coming.
Exactly. Until now, we have been operating on the assumption of a 12-week timeline, but the client is now requesting 10 weeks. This represents a meaningful change in scope that we need to address immediately.
I see. And in terms of team capacity, how are we placed so far?
The team has performed exceptionally well so far. We've delivered every milestone on time, and the quality of work has been consistently high. However, with a compressed timeline, we may need to bring in additional resource.
Understood. Until now, we have managed within the existing team structure, but it sounds like that may need to change.
That is my assessment, yes. I wanted to flag this early so we have time to make the right decisions rather than being reactive.
Absolutely. This is exactly the kind of proactive communication we need. Let's schedule a detailed planning session for tomorrow morning and work through the options together.
Perfect. I'll have a full options analysis ready by end of business today.
Beautiful professional conversation. Notice again how naturally "so far" and "until now" fit into the dialogue.
So far was used for ongoing progress updates. How is it going so far? How are we tracking so far? The team has performed well so far.
And until now was used to mark turning points. Until now, the client has been aligned, but something is changing. Until now, we have operated on a 12-week timeline, but now that is shifting.
The pattern is completely consistent. So far for continuation, until now for change.
Now, let us give everyone a clear and simple quick reference guide for using so far and until now correctly.
Use so far when you are describing ongoing progress toward a goal. You are asking or answering questions about how something is going. You are describing accumulation over a period that includes now. You want a neutral observation about what has happened up to this point. You are in a conversation and something is continuing.
Use until now when you're about to announce a change or contrast. You want to mark a turning point in a story. You're comparing what used to be true with what is now true or about to be true. You want to emphasize that something is different from this moment forward. You are making a statement about how things were before with a strong implication of what comes next.
Common alternatives to know: to date, more formal version of so far used in professional writing. Up to this point, slightly more neutral and works in both contexts. Thus far, very formal, used in academic and official writing. By now, used when you expect something should have already happened.
And the golden rule to remember always: so far implies the journey continues. Until now implies the journey is changing.
Before we finish, let's collect the most important phrases and expressions from today.
Nuanced, having subtle and important differences that are not immediately obvious. Example, the difference between so far and until now is nuanced but very important.
Interchangeable, able to be used in place of each other without changing the meaning. Example, many learners think these expressions are interchangeable, but they are not always.
Turning point, a moment when something important changes. Example, until now marks a turning point. Something is about to be different.
Ongoing, continuing without stopping. Example, so far suggests the situation is ongoing and there is more to come.
Implication, something that is suggested without being said directly. Example, until now carries a strong implication of change even when the change is not stated explicitly.
Accumulation, the gradual increase of something over time. Example, so far is perfect for describing accumulation. I've saved $300 so far this month.
And that's everything for today's wonderful episode of Mr. Daily English Podcast.
Today, we covered the real difference between so far and until now, the common mistakes, 2 full real conversations, a quick reference guide, and the golden rule: so far for continuation, until now for change.
Now, before you go, we have a challenge for you. Comment below right now and write 2 sentences, one using so far naturally and one using until now naturally. Show us you have understood the difference.
We read every single comment and we'll be there to give you feedback and encouragement. So write something and we'll be there waiting for you.
And if today's episode helped you, if it cleared up a confusion you've had for a long time, please give this video a big like right now. That one tap helps this podcast reach thousands more English learners who need this exactly today.
And please share this episode with a friend who's learning English, because understanding the subtle differences between similar expressions, that's what takes your English from good to genuinely impressive.
If you're not subscribed yet, please hit that red subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell, because every single week we bring you brand new real English conversations and practical grammar insights just like today.
And next day, we have something really exciting coming. We're going to tackle another pair of expressions that confuses almost every English learner in the world. You won't want to miss it.
So subscribe now, turn on the bell, and we'll see you there.
Until then, take good care of yourself. Keep practicing. Keep noticing how native speakers use these expressions in the real world around you.
And always remember, the difference between good English and great English is in the details. And today, you learned one more beautiful detail.
Keep going, keep growing, and never stop noticing the beautiful subtleties of this incredible language. See you next time.
We are so incredibly proud of every single one of you. See you in the next episode.